Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Amazing day. We are so glad that you are always with us. Welcome to Aviation Business Series. Hi, I'm hoping to see more people online. I can't wait. But glad you are always with us. Great, 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 great. Let me know how you feel about the programs we've done so far. We really want to make sure that we are getting your language, we are communicating, all right? So let me know how you feel about all the programs that we've done so far. But today, I just want to say welcome again. And it's always an exciting moment when we come your way. Today, we have an expert in the house. Yes, we always bring you the best because you deserve the best. Today, I am here with Mr. Shukrani Hemedi. The name is not Ghanaian, right? Yes. He is from Rwanda and currently the country manager for Rwanda Gabon. Wow, wow, that is the person we have today. And as you know, today we are discussing technology and business. There's so much going on as we get ready to open up our skies. There's so much going on after COVID 19, in between COVID 19. Yes, and we want to make sure that we are very prepared towards open skies. And that is how come we want to talk about technology and business in this new aviation. Who is Mr. Shukrani Hemedi? Mr. Shukrani Hemedi is a country manager, as I mentioned earlier. But before he became a country manager, he has been working in various capacities across the globe. In Africa, he has worked in Ghana, he worked in Nigeria, he worked in Ivory Coast, in Mali, in Congo, Brazzaville, in Burundi, and Rwanda. And now he is in Gabon. Why is the man moving so much? Because he's very, very impactful. He knows how to help each and every startup business. He holds a bachelor's degree in business administration. He also has IATA management course certificates and diploma and many other diploma certifications. And that is how come today we have him. He has been working for over 10 years. Yes. And he has been in the country manager position for a very, very, very long time. Please help me welcome Mr. Shukrani Hemedi. Shukrani.
Sorry. Hello, how are you doing?
We are good. We are good. We are good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Ah, we are humbled to have you, Shukrani.
Yes,
So, where are you now?
it's a pleasure. You say?
Where are you?
I'm currently at Gabon, in Gabon, Libreville, precisely. As you know, with this kind of COVID-19, now we are working at home mostly.
Okay. But how
Yeah.
long have you been in Gabon?
Now it's been 2 years now. Huh? 2 years.
Where were you before Gabon? Because I can see you are always somewhere.
Actually, my life story and my career story is a long, long journey. So after I moved from Ghana in 2017, I went to Mali for some maybe 6 months. Then I'm now in Gabon.
Wow, wow. But Mr. Shupani, how come your people, your company, Rwanda Air, is able to trust you enough to move you along the continent?
I don't know. I cannot say how come the country or my country trusting me, but I think it's more of dedications, hardworking, and yeah, and job oriented, focusing on your job, then maybe the company will trust you. But I can't say why the company did so. And me, I just do my job, then they'll tell me go here, then I'll accept. So you have to be ready for the work.
I like the word you are using. You have to be ready for the work.
Yes.
It looks like you have a strong readiness for work.
Yes, as you can see, I'm still young, so I'm ready to serve both my country and both my airline, and also it's a career business, so I have to take it seriously. Every job, when you want it, you have to take it seriously, and the rest will come.
What are some of the things you do to get ready? Because you are always moving. Doesn't the change affect you so much?
It doesn't really affect me. Of course, it might affect me a little bit because when I'm in certain place, I create a network. Then maybe after 1 year or 6 months or 2 years, then they remove me. But for me, I always go. How can I say? It's like I always ready to work. I don't really go with my family. My family is in Rwanda, so it's not really affect me in terms of my work. So I'm always ready to work, even if they tell me you are going in the next 24 hours. I think I can still manage.
Wow, that is interesting. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm having a hello from Jesse. A lot of people know you in Ghana, so they are here saying hello to you from Jesse. Jesse, we can see you. Bring your questions on, and we'll be happy to answer. So coming back to you, we know that COVID-19 has happened. It is not going as at now. We know we have some time before it actually goes, and we pray it goes very fast. But between now and when it goes, how is work going to be different? What is the new aviation going to look like?
As you can talk now, as we are saying, you're saying Corona is not going by now, but maybe even if we're expecting vaccinations or the cure, it might become maybe in an hour, 1 year's time. So they cannot kill aviation. People still need to travel. People need to visit their families and friends or doing trades. So we have to learn to how to live with it. That's according to what I read on the IATA website and the IATA recommendations. Now many airlines are now trying to adapt the new situation, what we call the new normal. So I'm sure by maybe 1 or 2 months time, there must be something that we can all follow up to bring back aviation.
Uh, and as we look forward to a new aviation for passengers, what are some of the new revelations coming out in terms of buying our tickets, getting a response from airline companies? What are some of the new developments that we should be expecting?
Of course, as far as concerned, like IATA recommendations, I might not say for each airline. Maybe each airline will have some sort of different approach. But for IATA recommendation, there will be, of course, the airline will no longer be carrying like 100% of load factor. There will be some maybe empty seat between two travelers. There will be face mask for every passenger. Maybe there will be no food on board. There are kind of security measures that they will try to put on the first month of this the new normal. But as you are saying, airline now in terms of part of buying ticket, there are lots of new technology that is going on. Now we have to motivate our clients to buy online, what we call e-commerce, people might go online on websites, every website, not only the airline, but also travel agencies website, and there are lots of online platforms that people will have now to adopt in order to limit the spread of the virus. When you pay online or when you pay with your card, it's very easy than giving cash.
But I see that Rwanda as a country is also doing a lot of new technologies in terms of robots and all that. Are you also having it as Rwanda Air? Is Rwanda also bringing in new innovations in terms of equipment and?
Yeah, actually, Rwanda, of course, this it's not currently. They have been doing it since long time. They are trying to develop new technologies. There's 4G network everywhere. There's also, of course, fiber optic. There's mobile money, which is too much now on a higher rate. So, of course, this will go. It's not only in Rwanda, one part of in Rwanda, but it's all affect all the things. When you have, when you're using, let's say, mobile money, it goes from your bank account, so you can take money from your bank account, then you can pay whatever you want, which means you can still pay also your ticket, airline ticket with mobile money, with credit card, and it's so fast. So I am sure there will be no problem with this new normal.
Okay. Are you able to communicate more? Are you able to reach your clients more via technology like maybe Zoom or Skype, or you still feel the need for the face to face? How are you balancing technology and the physical contact?
As of now, we don't really, as you know, there's not many activities currently. So we try to just maybe link up with one of our top clients, top travel agencies, of course, via Zoom or other video conferences, whatever. We try to keep the relationship we have with them, and of course we send them messages. But I'm sure, like in Africa, we are trying to. This is new. It's not something we used to have maybe 2 years back. So it will take some time. We are not really on a higher level. There are still some people who want to be person to person. So I'm not saying that it will be easy to remove the traditional one. So it will take some time. It will take some time to bring back. But I'm sure with this pandemic now, it will help, because people will be saying, maybe let's be safe. Let me pay with my Airtel money or MTN or whatever with my cards. Let me interact with my airline or my agency through Skype or through whatever platform. So I'm sure it will come, because as you see now, people are trying to do now online things more than direct contact. Yes.
Is it different when it comes to the business side? Does it affect sales? Do you think it
Yeah.
will be affecting sales so much?
I might not say no. It's somehow average, as I was saying. As part as sales is concerned, people are still like not really safe or comfortable by doing only on technology, because there's still something on the trust. So of course it affects, because maybe if you want people to pay you through online, maybe they will say, there's somewhere I can go and pay cash. It can affect you. But I think this is something we can still motivate people, educating, and with the time, I think it will take some time. It's not something it can come automatically.
True, true. How is your team taking the whole situation? Your team in Gabon? I know the
Uh,
way you like teamwork, so
of course, of course. For now, what we do is just to keep them, telling them that when we come back, we'll be coming back stronger. Then the team is there. We communicate with passengers, some clients who used to call us a lot. Personally, what I do is like just to be keeping closer with my team, first of all, because without my team, I'm not the one, I cannot just do everything alone. So I interact with them. I told them like this, if clients calls you, we have to do this, we have to do this. So I think it's okay. It's okay. It's a positive thing as of now.
great, great, great. I have a question from a gentleman called Steven from Travel
Yes.
Matters.
All right.
Steven says hello, and he wants to know the effect of COVID-19 on airlines. What is the effect of COVID-19 on airlines? If you can answer that as well.
Thank you, Stephen. That is a very good question. Of course, the COVID-19 it's not only on airline, but if we do analysis, of course, you will be seeing that at this same period, we could have we lost numbers of even like 60 or 70% of the revenues, or the now our revenue are very, very down. We don't generating anything. And of course, some of the airline, as we can see on the news, there are most of airline are going to be collapse because you cannot just park an aircraft for maybe 3 or 4 months. You have to pay for parking fee, you have to refunds. So many airline will really need a big help to revive again. It's not going to be easy to come back to the city. So that's why you see some airline getting subventions from a bailout from governments. It's all depend, but of course, many airline has been not only Rwanda. Most of the airline, some of the airline have terminated staff contracts. They have reducing staff. Some of them have maybe cut salary up to 60%. So it's been very, very hectic with this pandemic.
Wow. Because he also has a follow-up question. Let me get it. He's saying that since COVID-19 has come to stay, how relevant will it be using technology in airports to fight the pandemic, looking at our literacy rate? This is an issue.
No, airports will not really, it's not going to be really, airport is not going to use most of technology, but of course they will try to follow up the measure, like let's say wearing your mask, sanitizer. They are going to put to spray the chemicals, all the gates. There will be maybe some distance, because the social distancing between clients. But I'm not really sure there will be lots of technologies going on, part of communicating, and that's all. The rest is like just following up the health measures, distancing, wearing mask. If there's anything to pay, of course, you have to pay with credit card, mobile money, or something else.
Wow. Interesting times we're in. What has been a major challenge with airlines client interaction during your years? What has been one of the major difficulty between airlines, clients? What has been one of the major difficulty?
Like I was saying earlier, we still in Africa, we still on the traditional way of communicating. And like we always communicating through billboards, through SMSs, flyers, and so on. So the big challenge is to reach out all these people that you want to target, because it's not everyone who will be seeing, who will be listening to radio or TV or billboards. So that is a very big challenge. So
But
that's
are
the
you
country
getting
where
support?
it's, yeah.
Do you get support from your stakeholders, government, from other travel agencies, and travel management companies?
Mhm. This one depends on country to country. As you've been saying shortly, I've been almost in eight countries. So there are some places where technology is high, and we have travel management companies, we have online companies. I might say there are lots of countries like Ghana, Nigeria, where there's lots of online travel agencies, which is very good actually, because it's a cost saving. You reduce cost of GDS, you reduce the cost of maybe employment. You have few employees to work with, but there are also some places where it's very limited. We still work with the old system. You have office, big office. You have to send people on the market. So the challenge depends on where you are now.
Interesting. But can you
Yeah.
give us some tips so that wherever we are, we can function well?
I think now, as now, let's say you are in Ghana. I think for me, Ghana is a very good market. It's a very good market. There are lots of competition. There are lots of professionals, and I think it can work with technology. There are lots of travel agencies which are online. There are lots of uh, travel agencies which are using social media like Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, which is really attracting people. We don't really need the old system of let's say TV, billboards, or whatever. You can still work with social media, and I'm sure even now the current media now are using social media like Facebook Live or Instagram Live or YouTube Live. So now we are no longer in an old system. We are now in a new system whereby even if you did not follow up the direct news or direct advert, you can still go online, either on any of the radio or TV in Ghana, and still find out what you want.
Hmm, that's very
Yeah.
interesting. I would want to move away from all this industry news
Mhm.
and all that is happening in the industry, and we want to develop ourselves the more. We have a lot of students watching us, we have business people watching us, and they also want to learn from your personal experience how you have gone through life, and
Mhm.
been very high. You have always been a country manager, and that is very, very, very interesting and very, 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 very appreciated, because we realize that you are doing something very good. I'll take a break, and when I come back, we'll continue on that level. All right, so let's hold on. Welcome back. So we have been speaking to Mr. Shukrani Hemedi, the country manager for Air Namibia Gabon, and he has really thrown very good explanation. He's really thrown some more light on what the new aviation looks like. He has really spoken about technology. He has spoken about the new change of how to do business, and that has been very beautifully said. Now, I want to dive in and know some more about his personal life and how he has gone through the journey of being country manager for different countries. So, welcome back, sir.
Hello, thank you
Welcome back.
very much. Thank you so much.
Okay, so how did your journey start? Did you know you want to be in the airline industry, or what happened?
Uh, to be honest, actually, I never thought I'll be on this level, but I always liked aviation industry. Actually, before it's just that I did not mention on the introduction, but before I used to work with still with tourism industry, like in hotels. I used to work with a five-star hotel. Then
Okay.
I say now this is over. I want to change, but still in the almost same area: customer service, tourism industry, and customer oriented. So then I applied in Rwanda. I started 2010. And
Wow.
to be honest with you, I never thought I would be even a single manager. I applied for a sales supervisor and I got it. So what was remaining was the normal, you are getting a new environment, you are meeting new people. So you just have to work hardworking, be nice and friend to everyone, even the junior staff that you are supervising. So I guess this is why one of the things that maybe still made me to my even at this moment, because hardworking, uh, group team working, and the rest will just come. I started in 2010 as supervisor. Within 1 year only, I was transferred, but that was still local in Rwanda. Domestic travel, I was now in charge of managing the domestic flights. Then I come back to Kigali just after maybe less than 1 year in 2011. No, 2012. They sent me to Burundi. In Burundi, they sent me back to Rwanda after 1 year. Then they sent me to Brazzaville after 1 year again. After Brazzaville, I went to Nigeria. I, I did, in Nigeria, I was acting country manager for 6 months. Then after Nigeria, in 2015, I came to Ghana. I think I did almost 2 years in Ghana. Then after I went to Ivory Coast, or Cote d'Ivoire, as you can say. Then after Ivory Coast, then I went to Mali, and after Mali, now it's I'm in Gabon. But what I can say is that for me, one of the best things for me it was the language. I can say the language also helped me because it's a tool. When you have language skills, I can speak French, I can speak English. It's somehow easy to interact with both French community and English community. That's why you see now I'm in a French country, I can speak French. But when I was in Ghana, I was speaking English, so it's easy. And I can tell that's why my company was always say, okay, Shukrani can do this, because it's not having a language barrier, you know what I can say. So that was one. But of course, there's hard working, there's teamwork, there's when you leave one country, they see there's no bad performances. Of course, they will send you to another country.
Great, great. I like the way you mentioned that when you leave one country, you leave with good reports. So it allows the Rwanda Air to take you to another company, to another country, sorry. And that is very good. Is leadership a crucial aspect of this? It's leadership. The leadership you have at Rwanda, a crucial aspect of this kind of development for you.
Yeah, of course. You know, that's my leaders. They did decisions to decide where I'm going. But you know, most of these countries, it's because they sent me either to open new branches, new destination that we are going to go. But they said, okay, let's take this guy. He can do this. He knows everything. Or sometimes when there's no a good manager in the place, then they say, okay, let's take this person. So I think I say my leaders, my senior management have trusted me, and I can say, of course, it's them who decide where to go, where to transfer me, kind of this.
This has been interesting. I would say really. I'm just waiting for more questions from my viewers, so I am not the only one talking.
Yes.
I hope to hear from them very soon, so that we get interactive. Now we have a few minutes left. We have just about 5 minutes. Please bring in your questions so Mr. Hemedi can answer them, and we can wrap up. So we just stand by for a few more questions, and then we can wrap up. There have been issues with a lot of African airlines. African airlines start and then they fold up. I mean, our own country, we have had it happening to us twice. What is some of the things that One Day has been doing that has sustained you over this period as a company?
Managing an airline is not as easy as you might think. Huh? Managing airline is very, very crucial, and it needs kind of very, very seriousness in what they are doing. And in Africa, most of airlines don't really make money. We are still not making a lot of money. So when you start, of course, there must be kind of seriousness in what they are doing. But apart from that, they also need support from, I might say, from government, from other stakeholders. But it's really needs, you cannot start counting interest in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. You have to, of course, there will be some loss in the first years, but once there's a seriousness in what they're doing, of course, they might grow. But also there are lots of other challenges. Let's say taxes. There are lots of taxes are still high in the countries. Airport taxes are very, very high than even the normal fare of the ticket. So Airline not generating a lot of revenue, it might lead to being collapsed. So it needs lots of things. I think there's a lot of things to be done by governments to help this airline. Let's say to cut costs, some costs like taxes or reduce them. Some maybe fuel for them to give the less fuel price for them. I think it can help lots of airlines. But if for a private airline to grow and to sustain, it's really needs lots of seriousness, lot of support, and that's why you keep seeing that there's one airline come 1 year ago. It's not as easy as you might think. Yeah.
But in terms of human resource, Africans, we are ready for this and we are using all we are making good use of the opportunities. Am I right?
Yes, there's lots of task force in Africa. We have forces in Africa. I might not say the problem is on the human resource or the task force like us Africans. But maybe I might say there must be some maybe level of management or the strategies or maybe the lack of support. But as of the task force, we don't need to have Europeans to come to Africa to teach us how to do airline business. We can still do it on our own. Even if I'm Rwanda manager, or I can talk to on the behalf of Rwanda, but they still like have other airlines like Ethiopian. They are very doing well. Kenya Airways somehow they are doing well. But it depend on how seriousness, how they do strategies. Then also the support is very key. Let me say the support from the government is very key.
And I keep on hearing a lot of business owners saying, okay, maybe European airline or an Asian airline is doing well. But as you're saying, we really need the support of our own people. We need to begin to trade among our countries. We need to begin to take tourism across our borders. And I mean, if you want to go on a holiday, Rwanda is there.
Of course,
Okay, so those are
as
the
I said,
things.
there are lots of factor when we talk about support. There are lots of factor which can help airline to grow. It's not about just bringing an aircraft and putting it in a country. There are lots of things like they have to be visa, maybe not too much restriction on visa. There must be lots of hotels. There must be destination tourism promotions. There are lots of things which will bring, of course, airline because airline is passenger, and when you want to bring this passenger, you have to have lots of things to attraction. Like in Rwanda, of course, in Rwanda there are lots of things people can learn from Rwanda. Back in the 20, maybe 25 years back, the country was really zero on the floor, nothing. It was just coming from the war and genocide. But when there's determinations, hard working and everything, then people just forget in a few days, in a few times. One person will go see how it is, then will go do marketing. Year to months, people are talking, and you don't need even radio. Just what we call word of rumors or whatever, word of mouth, and then it will go. Everything will go. Yeah. So
I really
I think
appreciate
there's
you
lots of
mentioning
support.
that. Yes,
Pardon?
I really appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there is a mentality that all our problems will be solved when we have a national airline, and it is one of the mentalities or the thoughts that really doesn't sit well. There's a need for collaboration across board. The airline comes, there's staff, there is the systems running, there is business that would help the airline, and the airline to help the business. So I'm very glad you are mentioned. We need to begin to develop what we have so that when the airline comes, we can do better. It's been
Yeah,
amazing. Let me take
but
a
for
minute.
me, as far as tourism is concerned, for me, when I compare Ghana to the rest of some of West African country, I might not say tourism is very bad in Ghana. I can say tourism is very good. There's lots of things coming in Ghana. There are lots of attraction in Ghana. Myself, I enjoyed Ghana a lot. There are lots of attraction in Ghana, so I think tourism is not as bad as we can say. But of course, there is still,
Mm,
as we can still change mentality. People not only just put, as I said, not put airline or aircraft there, but this must be some other measure to promote. Being on tourism, being on taxes, being on lower the fares. There are lots of factors that have to help the airline to grow.
great, great, great.
Yeah.
It's been amazing already. I'll just take a comment. Okay, this is from Selena. Selena says, I must say Rwanda has done extremely well. Kudos. Thank you, Selena.
Thank you, Selena.
Okay, so we are getting Josty saying, yeah, I think she agrees with your point. We want to say thank you to everybody. I can see Amma, I can see Victor, Jesse. Wow, wow. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Mr. Shukrani, your final words before we call it a day. Your final words to us as we develop and get ready for the skies to be open.
Yeah, my final words is like everyone should not be worried about what we are going through right now. To keep hope and then to start now putting on some new strategies that we are going to work maybe in the next 3 months' time. And hard working is very key. Team building, team working for all, either the travel agency, the airlines, and also I know I have lots of support friends in media house in Ghana. So also media is very key in Ghana. They can still approach them on some few things to run. Communication is very key and interaction with their clients. And we hope. I'm very confident that we'll come back very strong, and everything will be back as normal.
Wow. Thank you. We will come back very strong, and that has been the final words from Mr. Shukrani Hemedi. I have learned a lot. I have. Thank you so much, Mr. Hemedi. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Vera, for hosting me, and thank you for all the viewers. My regards to all Ghanaians. I love you so much. Thank you too.
Oh, okay. Great, great, great. I hope you have really, really taken a lot from our discussion today. We started off talking about the airline industry. We went into the aviation sector. We also spoke about what we need as a people to support airlines, to support the travel agents, to support the tourism industry as a whole. And Mr. Shukrani has also brought us into the individual level where we know as people we have to be prepared, as people we have to engage, as people we have to work with a team and build on what we have. I mean, he's very positive, and we are also very, very, very positive. So thank you so much for staying with us. Next week will be your turn to ask questions. I would have a panel of guests, maybe two or three of us, I don't know, but I'll have great people joining us next week. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear the questions you have about the aviation industry, the question you have about linking aviation theories and practicals, and we definitely want to hear the impact that this program has made in your life. So thank you so very much. And I will see you next week, Saturday. Same time. Keep your diaries open for Aviation Business Series. Same time, okay? Thank you so much. Bye.
Tomorrow sounds good. With its new words, hot tips, and best kept secrets. Like local beats, touring bands, and classic tunes. It's the cheer of birdsong, crashing waves, and sleepless cities.
Tomorrow looks good. With familiar faces, colorful characters, and deep blue seas. Like nothing you imagined. Everything you dreamed. Bright as a canopy of stars.
It's your first flight, first night in town, and setting off at first light.
Tomorrow feels good with best laid plans, the best in town, and the best you've ever had.
Like sealed deals, bucket lists, and being there when it counts.
It's a home away from home, the thrill of the unknown.
In it together
or alone. Tomorrow isn't a world away.
Stay home for now.
Dream forever.